Hello everyone, my name is Vladimir and this is a vlog about Russia. So an interesting, quite remarkable event took place. Russian President Vladimir Putin gave interview to American journalist Tucker Carlson. So let's see some photo, let's see how it took place. So you can see this is Tucker Carlson and he is getting ready for the interview with Putin, and this is both Putin and Carlson shaking hands, and they're watching, they're looking at something, I don't know. There is no comments on this or what's going on here. And so the interview, that's how it starts, and that's how it moved on, and so on. So some fragments of interview. And let's see some more pictures. So that's it. So that's the interview. That's the team of both Tucker Carlson and Russian president filming the interview. So this both really interesting detail. I would like to know, you could see a glass of water. It's open next to Tucker Carlson, and you could see some closed, glass, which I would say belongs to Putin, filled with, I don't know, maybe water, but it's closed. So that's really interesting. That's really interesting thing about this common atmosphere. All right, this was part of a bit of humor here. Being seriously, why it matters, because Putin really seldomly gives interview. The previous was like several years ago. So every interview takes some interest. It's quite more or less remarkable. It's, I would say, worth to see if you're interested in the topic of Russia and all which goes on in the country. The second really interesting, remarkable thing about this interview is the relationship between Russia and the United States now are not so good, are not splendid, because of ongoing Russian-Ukrainian military conflict, about which you probably heard. Tucker Carlson is an American journalist, so it's really remarkable, really good for him that he made this initiative. He invited Putin to interview, and I think really good for Putin that he accepted this invitation, so the interview took place. So that's it. Besides the interview, additional to interview, a really interesting thing that took place around this interview. It was really buzzy. It was really discussed much in Russian speaking, not only Russian speaking medias. And the liberal opposition of Russia is pissed off by the fact of this interview. We have liberal opposition here in Russia, and this is a bit, sad and a bit partly sad, partly funny topic, which I will be talking about later in next videos. Just let me briefly remind about the fact of Russian liberal opposition which took place. Let me give you just one example about this reaction of on Putin's interview to Tucker Carlson. So here, that's what I was going to show you. We have Georgian-born and Russian-based Russian liberal journalist Katerina Kartakidze, and this is, let's give her a word. So this is her reaction on this interview. So this is her post on Twitter, and this is what she said to Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, never call yourself a journalist, please. So that's her reaction. Really typical. This is really typical reaction on this interview. In spite of the fact that a polite tone was used, the word please was used, being serious, why? So really, why Tucker Carlson should not call himself a journalist after that interview? My opinion, he did a great job as a journalist. He not Putin's fan. He doesn't belong to Russia. He's not, he's patriot of his own country, America, which is now not in good relationships with Russia. But he did really great job as an interviewer. as a journalist, he gave Putin what he gave Putin, his auditory. So you can relate, you can feel antipathy or be angry on Putin. You could disagree with him. Understood. I not fully agree with Putin, with his policy. Totally, I cannot say I fully disagree. So like in between, but we should admit that Putin has his own vision, that he's in a good physical and mental shape. There are no doubts about this. He has his vision, his ideas, his special mindset based on facts and his interpretations of certain facts. So he has a right to be presented. He has a right to has auditory, also in English speaking medias, and this is what Tucker Carlson gave him an opportunity for this. So I would say Tucker Carlson is a great journalist. He also made quite more really great interviews in past. So I would strongly recommend to you to take your attention to this journalist and to see some other interviews and all these things. So getting back to Putin's interview. I can't just put this whole interview to this video. This would be against copyright regulation. This would be not applied to Tucker Carlson, because this interview is intellectual property of Tucker Carlson and his team. So after this video, I will just give the direct link on Tucker Carlson's site, so you could watch this whole interview. Or some fragments of this. I think this is the most good solution for this situation. So let's just have a quick look on Tucker Carlson's personal site. So here we go. So this is his site, and right, like the Putin's interview is like on the headlines of the site. So here we have direct link, a special page for this whole interview. So this is video, and it's divided on chapters, so you could move through chapters. The most part of the interview is about ongoing Russian-Ukrainian military conflicts. So they discuss NATO expansion, NATO, Ukraine, what targeted this conflict, solutions possible, some about President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, and some additional stuff like Elon Musk and all other things. So also let me just briefly show you this whole historical current content of this ongoing Russian and Ukrainian military conflict, if you are not familiar with. So just really quickly, this is Russia, part of it, and this is Ukraine. This is a country called Ukraine, the second largest post-Soviet country, and Russia and Ukraine.
The following is an interview with the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, shot.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Carlson. Thank you. A bit late. All right. So that's the current situation of this conflict. So this is the map of Ukraine, and these are disputed territory which are occupied by Russia. Russia claims them to be their own territory. Ukraine claims these territories like belonging to Ukraine. De facto, they are occupied by Russian militaries. So this is what's going on now for the last 2 and some years. So all these things which that take place now. And the interview is mostly about this ongoing Russian-Ukrainian military conflict. So some like this. So I think that's all from me for today, and thanks for watching me, and enjoy to watching Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin's interview. You can be agree, you can be disagree with it, but I think this is worth to see. So good luck to you with this, and by this I'm saying to you goodbye.